Hello guys, and welcome to another video. Now last night we finally got the official announcement of the announcement. Path of Exile 2 patch 0.3 is locked in for August 29th, with the full reveal livestream a day earlier than usual on August 20th. Now in this video I'm going to go over my thoughts on the teaser and why I think 0.3 would include not just Act 4, but also Acts 5 and 6 to round out a full, complete campaign for Path of Exile 2. That's right, I don't think we're going to have any more cruel acts to go through after this patch. But before that, let's watch the short teaser in full so we're all on the same page.
This weapon is our only chance to save humanity. We must invoke the Third Edict.
So, not much is revealed here, or is it? We have this character here which is the hooded one, and spoiler alert from the campaign, we already know that this is Sin. And he's on a mission along with the player character to stop Oriana and the Beast. And to do that, the last known progression of the campaign is the end of Act 3, where the direction is to track down a weapon that can potentially subdue the Beast or work against the Beast in some way. Now, spoilers once again, we know from the end of Act 3 and from the Path of Exile 2 art book and the themes of the supporter packs, that Act 4 is going to take place in the Karui archipelago, and it's going to be very Karui themed throughout, including the introduction of the Third Ascension trials, the Trial of the Ancestors. Now the devs have already mentioned the Trial of the Ancestors as the planned Third Ascension trial in Act 4, but we also have information from all the way back in the Trial of the Ancestors League in Path of Exile 1, that was patch 3.22, some voice lines from Hinekora, the Karui's Mother of the Dead, referencing the Path of Exile 2 trials and which order they'd appear in, including mentioning the Maraketh trials, which we now know as the Trial of the Sekimas, and Chaos not being the enemy, referring to the Trials of Chaos rewarding you with your ascension. And further down it says, "We will be the third. You must prove yourself." The Trial of the Ancestors was an auto-battler mechanic in PoE 1, but we're not sure just yet how it will be implemented in PoE 2. I actually think they would be able to do quite a good job of a boss-style gauntlet mechanic where you fight one chieftain after the other, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so in this teaser we see Sin preparing what looks like a type of weapon, and we already know exactly what this weapon looks like in full from these images that were released a while back. Now shout out to this Reddit post by King Kongol, spotting what appears to be the weapon wielded by a corrupted Karui. This is from old teaser footage of Act 4, and this is likely a boss in Act 4, possibly even the final Act 4 boss. And it looks like this is how we're going to be getting our hands on the weapon. We'll probably spend all of Act 4 tracking it down, and we'll need to kill this corrupted Karui tribe chieftain to secure it. Now that's pretty much Act 4 confirmed. However, there's a bit more going on in this teaser. First of all, we see Sin actually preparing and arming the weapon in the teaser, as if he's going to use it in that moment. But I'd say it's quite unlikely that the use of the weapon occurs in Act 4. And once again, spoiler alert, from the Path of Exile 2 art book and the supporter packs, we know that Act 5 is going to take place in Oriath, where we'll likely meet the mysterious Lumerius character. That's the character that we don't really know all that much about, but he appears prominently in a lot of the Path of Exile 2 main promotional artwork. From the art book, we have limited information about a group called the Twilight Order, possibly led by Lumerius, and Lumerius appears to be related to Oriana. So Oriana and the Beast are likely headed for Oriath. Now here's why I think we're not only getting Act 4 in this update. The teaser appears to be Sin arming the weapon for use, saying that we need to invoke the Third Edict. It's very unlikely that the Beast will be in the Karui archipelago any longer, as it appears that we're chasing it, evident from the corruption that has already spread throughout the Karui tribes. This is likely where Oriana travelled with the Beast in order to board a boat to reach Oriath, and we'll do the same, following them to Oriath. That's probably where the original boat footage all the way back from the first ExileCon came from. And I think in Oriath is where we'll have the final showdown, where Sin arms and uses the weapon on the Beast. This would indicate that the update also includes Act 5. Now, we also have this teaser that was posted a week ago or so, with some kind of hieroglyphics or symbols, and what appears to be workings by someone in trying to understand exactly what this means. This was posted with the caption, "Recovered from a long-buried library in the ruins of Oriath," with a note that reads, "The symbols are of unknown language. Deciphering it may be possible, but it will take time. Time that I no longer have." It's possible that we'll find these notes or something similar during Act 5, and I'll come back to this teaser and its meaning later on in the video. But first, what exactly is the Third Edict? Now, this is where things get interesting. The word edict is a decree or announcement of a law, often associated with monarchies, but can be under any official authority. If Lumerius is heavily featured on a lot of the artwork for Path of Exile 2, I expect him to be the main antagonist of the campaign, and I wonder if he will commune with the beast and become something else entirely. Perhaps we'll end up fighting him in his human form in Act 5, and again in a different, more sinister form in Act 6. And if so, is Edict referring to Lumerius and his rule of law under the Twilight Order in Oriath? Perhaps Sin is referring to ousting him and his order from rule in this region, and bringing about new order. Possibly, but I'm not convinced on that one. And that's because the only other mention that I know of for the word Edict comes from the Arbiter of Ash, the current final pinnacle boss of Path of Exile 2's endgame. He mentions the Fourth Edict in multiple dialogues.
The Fourth Edict awaits you. The Fourth Edict beckons. You are too late. The Fourth Edict already burns for your world. You have failed, and now the Fourth Edict nears.
But the most information comes from one of the voice lines right at the beginning of the encounter. Mortal hands have contaminated her virtue once more. By the Fourth Edict of the Mother Soul, her flesh shall be scorched anew. I believe this voice line is the Arbiter of Ash describing Raycast. Mortal hands have contaminated her virtue once more, referring to this not being the first time that corruption has spread the continent. It's happened before with our saga against Gitava in Path of Exile 1's campaign. Then he says, by the Fourth Edict of the Mother Soul, her flesh shall be scorched anew. I think this is referring to a cataclysm of some sort, a new beginning, wiping the surface anew. Which would mean that Sin is likely referring to a cataclysm event when he describes the invoking of the Third Edict. And I think this is how we reach Act 6. We use the weapon on the beast, causing a cataclysm and plunging us into the Beyond, Path of Exile's version of Hell. And here we'll probably face off against Lumerius one last time. And we know that Act 6 will be shorter than other acts, but likely be a lot more intense. I kind of expect boss fight after boss fight, almost a bit Monster Hunter-esque. Perhaps a little bit like the Belly of the Beast from PoE 1, but much more epic. Now, we know Path of Exile 2's endgame revolves around us joining Doyani in an attempt to cleanse the corruption that's currently plaguing Raycast, but we don't know the full picture of the events that occur between the end of Act 3 and that endgame scenario. I think we'll finish up in the Beyond and re-emerge in a wasteland on Raycast, and that's where the cleansing begins. Okay, let's get back to that teaser that was posted a week back. These symbols appear to be similar to the ones in the teaser trailer that light up on the lift that Sin is on. I think this language will have something to do with the Arbiter of Ash and his kind, beings that lived on Raycast long before. The lift that Sin is on is somewhat similar to the architecture of the Burning Monolith, the structure that you enter to fight the Arbiter of Ash, and we can see more of these symbols on the artwork for the Third Edict, here in the background and on the text itself. And this adds up with some of the deciphered symbols here, like beginning and birth, once again linking to a cataclysm event. Though I still feel that this could be referencing the Triad of the Ancestors, but in that case I'm not sure about the origin of the symbols or who would have written it. And that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on this short teaser. There is a strange roaring sound at 21 seconds, which may be teasing the druid, who knows. But we'll have to wait until August 20th to find out, only 5 days to go for that. But do let me know your thoughts on the teaser below, and thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned, and stay safe.